Hi, Shay. Hi, Maggie.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm glad that we finally got to touch base and that we're talking with each other about Wild Rivers Collective.
Yes.
All right, so I'm here with Shea Bodine and Magnolia Medlin of Wild Rivers Collective. We're here to talk about an after school offering that you guys have coming up in the fall called Chimera Club. It's for girls aged 9 to 12. But before we dive in, I wanted to share your bios. So I'll start with Maggie. Magnolia Medlin is a somatic therapist, storyteller, musician, and mindfulness teacher in Portland, Oregon. She weaves together her training in unified mindfulness, somatic experiencing, voice dialogue parts work, rites of passage counsel with the School of Lost Borders, and 2 years living and training at a Zen Buddhist monastery to tend spaces of deep listening, creative emergence, and soul connection. She has a particular passion for supporting the young feminine through the strange terrain of adolescence to nurture expressions of realness and authenticity, to stay as open, clear, and embodied as possible. Is there anything you'd like to add to that?
It's fun to hear it read back. I'm like, yep. That still rings true. Thank you.
Yay, I love that. All right, now I'm going to read Shay's bio. Shay is the founder of Rooted Resilience and the co founder of Wild Rivers Collective. Both organizations serve youth in accessing their wholeness. Shay is a mother, earth praiser, songholder, and community tender. She has spent the last decade serving youth and their families through her work as a mentor and guide, inhabiting a wide range of offerings from nature based education for youth, one on one emotion coaching with Wise Mind Educational Services, to sacred space holding for mothers, and now rites of passage mentorship. She is devoted to creating spaces that allow for meaningful connections with soul, nature, ritual, healing, and creative expression. Shea holds a bilingual K through 12 teaching license, has completed various somatic and trauma-informed trainings, youth yoga trainings, grief trainings, as well as Earth Path Education Rites of Passage guide training. She lives in Oregon with her two sons and tenderly holds a heart prayer for a more connected and healed world. Anything else you'd like to add?
That's so complete.
And Shay and I have conducted an interview together a while back, so you can find her information in on YouTube and in our archives. All right, let's get on with it.
Hmm.
As Wild Rivers Collective, you have a new offering for pre-adolescent girls, and it's called the Chimera Club. On the website, you provide a description of a chimera from Greek mythology. And it's a fire breathing female monster with a lion's head, a goat's body, and a serpent's tail. She is a living, breathing contradiction. She isn't just one way, one style, but is a magical display of many different creatures put together. I love the imagery this description conjures. Your invitation is to come discover your unique chimera of being. Yes to this.
Mm. Mm.
Please tell us more about this heart expanding offering.
Yes. Ugh, it's so, I love hearing that right up on the website again. I feel like I'm dazzled all over again by the Chimera. Yeah, well, just to say really, practically, what is this? It is an after school mentorship program that is once a week for 10 weeks. And then there are some Sundays that are kind of a longer chunk deep dive that happen with nature connection out in Corbett, Oregon. And this is one cohort. We might continue it. We likely will continue. We might even continue with other age groups. So if you're a parent out there and you're liking what you hear, but your child doesn't fall in the age range, just like stay in touch with us is what I would say. Um, but yeah, why Chimera? I want to just start there. And I have to say that I don't know how the Chimera made its way into our lives. I actually can't pinpoint it. It's like, did one of us dream it? Like, how did she arrive? I think we told a previous story where Baba Yaga was present. And Baba Yaga is like this fierce kind of shape-shifting witch. And I sort of think she may have morphed into the chimera. Um, but, as you can hear from that description, a chimera is this contradiction. She's a multiplicity. I mean, to be part lion, part goat, and part serpent means to actually have different qualities of being that come out, at different moments and different circumstances. And Shay and I have just really been exploring like what happens, what starts to happen in this pre-adolescent and adolescent time. And it's not a problem. It's not like there's something wrong. Oh my gosh, we have to fix it. But just tracking, like, what are the
Mhm.
shifts and changes in the landscape here? And then, especially looking at technology, right? And looking at these images of like, what am I supposed to look like? How am I supposed to be?
Yeah, what does
It's
feminine mean?
what does feminine mean?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and so just to start to bring ourselves into a smaller box of what it means to be me, and that's, I think, such a big part of our mission in this work is just to open up like a playground space, even with a lot of permission of like, how do we actually connect to each other and connect deeply with ourselves and actually stay in contact with what's true and real and undefinable, like not even complete, but just an
Yes.
impulse
Mhm.
for something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so that's what I want to say about Chimera, and then I just want to touch on the three main pillars too,
Yes,
because
please.
they're so close to the heart of this work, and they are mindfulness training. Um, that's the first one. The second one is navigating raw energies of emotion and learning how to
Crazy.
surf and express and be in those waves, right? And then the third being learning how to like praise ourselves and the world genuinely, creatively, in the ways that
Yes.
only we can, that like come from our hearts.
Mhm.
And so all the programming, everything that we're building in, and Shay and I are also in an emergent space with this too. Like we're going to be attuning to these girls and what they bring in and what's alive for them. But those are
Mhm.
kind of the pillars that we want them to walk away with an ability to track that what they're seeing, what they're feeling, what they're hearing internally, externally, with just more presence, and then to be able also to allow a feeling, like really, did
Mhm.
our parents teach us how to allow a feeling, like
Really?
and then hopefully they also walk away with a more expansive desire and capacity to express themselves and express how they see the world, how they feel themselves as they're changing and growing.
This is such an
Yeah.
important offering.
Mm.
And I feel like the once a week is manageable,
Yeah.
because mostly at schools, they're not covering any of this,
No.
and they spend so much time just mired in the muckety muck of
Mm.
school that this really, females really, really need this. I mean, I think males need it too, but we really need it because we do embody so many different things at different times. And I love
Mm.
that you don't put a definition to it. And I also love the three pillars that you shared because they're just pillars as opposed to certain programs that have like a whole agenda and an outline. These are the things that we're going to hit, because you can't do that because every child is different. So the
Mhm.
fact that you guys show up for these children in a way that acknowledges each person's individuality and sort of meld your program to support them individually and as a group is really, really beautiful.
Mm. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
The way that we've designed this is definitely emergent, as Maggie said. And so much of what we're going to be doing in the attunement to the girls is actually like, I would consider it nervous system work. Like, we're actually teaching them how to expand their capacity to be with emotion, to go inward, even to track sensations in their bodies, to be curious rather than judgmental or even notice like the inner critic. You know, we're going to be working with that inner critic a lot.
Mhm.
And Magnolia is a voice dialogue trained in that, you know, that's going to be so fun to explore with them because they get to start to see all the ways that they, you know, we're all so hard on ourselves. And so I'm just really excited to build a space that's safe for them to do this playfully. Like, I
Mhm.
think play is such an important thing that Maggie and I both bring in, also bringing, you know, just our work with kids and our nature is that ability to do this in a way that's not so like intense,
Yeah.
but it's not diluting anything, and they're going to hit a depth of connection with themselves, with each other. So one of the aspects of what we're doing is called counsel process, which if you're not familiar with, is really this process where there's an intentional container for sharing, but it's done in a way that's like there's sort of a ritual around it. And it's just done in a way that allows for there to be a lot more vulnerability than there would be if we were just sitting around chatting. And they're going to learn that process of just how to kind of let themselves be witnessed by others. And I think at that pre-adolescent, you know, you go from a lot of children go from wanting to be seen and like loving that and eating that up to then that inward, that contraction. And so it's also a place where you can be kind of witnessed in that contraction if needed. Um, and so the council space I'm stoked for. And then yeah, we just have games. We have a whole list of things, and and that's sort of where it is. And we're like, okay, so whatever is emergent in that moment, we're gonna adapt to.
Yeah.
Really adhering to those three pillars because we do want them to walk away with a deeper knowing of themselves first off, a deeper trust in other girls, and like it's possible to like have really positive, healthy, feminine relationships, more attunement to their bodies, that
Mhm.
they can like trust their bodies and trust that the like sensations they're having are giving them very, very important information. So,
Right.
mhm,
That's a
yeah,
really important aspect because I feel like a lot of women our ages, 30, 40, 50, we're totally not connected with our bodies and we
yeah,
don't even know what our bodies are saying. And
yeah,
we're learning now how to get in touch with our bodies. Whereas now you're starting younger. And so they will always
Mhm.
go through life being connected with their intuition and listening to their bodies.
Mhm.
that's right.
It
Yeah,
it is so amazing how many mothers have approached us in our work with tears,
yeah.
with like, "Oh, I did not have this." It's such a clearly felt, longing in the collective from the parents. And so it's so beautiful to now be able to, start providing these opportunities of, yeah, let's give what we actually didn't receive out of no one's fault, right? But just it wasn't present in the collective consciousness.
That's my motivation. I mean, I think that's your motivation too, is like, let's, and I think that offers healing to the moms too and to the families. I think
Absolutely.
when young people are in healed environments and are in conducive environments, it heals forwards and backwards as well. And so I can imagine that
Absolutely.
for the mamas too and the fathers as well.
Right, like the entire family, because it's funny because, my work is to help parents find that place where they can learn from their children, right? And it
Mm,
takes a lot of deprogramming. And if you have a parent who has enrolled their child in your Chimera Club, the child then learns all these regulatory tools and a way to show up, right? And if the parent is willing, they can learn from the child.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's like fast tracking your own work if you don't know how to do it. If you just
mm,
listen and see how your child shows up in relationship and in spaces, you can learn a lot.
That's so inspiring. Thank you
Yeah,
for doing that work.
yeah.
Well, it's like as a parent, if you're going to put your kid in this program, you're getting kind of like two two treats for the
Supermom.
price of one because your child gets this wonderful experience and then you get to learn too.
Yeah.
Mhm, mhm,
Thanks
So
for that
both
plug.
so both of you work specifically in the adolescent space, which is incredible. We need more of that at all times.
mm,
Now, Maggie, your
mm,
background is so interesting to me.
Mm.
Can you please share about how you weave all the parts of your knowledge and wisdom together to access the wonder in adolescence
Mm.
and invite their souls to shine
It's
through?
a big question, Belinda.
Is.
um, you know, it feels true for me to name an experience I had when I was an adolescent. That in some ways I feel like really got this whole ball rolling for me. My parents got divorced, and it was really a challenging time navigating that and adolescence. And I really contracted as someone who has a lot of expressive energy. It was strange. I was like, where did I go? It almost felt like I became a ghost a little bit, and just couldn't find my place. And then somehow I found myself walking into a drama class. I was at like a new high school, and I just found my way there. And this drama teacher let us choose our own characters for a lot of the like little exercises that we would do, like develop them or pick them, and to look back and see the kinds of characters that I was drawn towards is I could I could cry about it now. Like the intelligence of my being to call in permission to be able to express and be all the ways that I didn't feel like I knew how to do or felt like it was safe to do. And so I learned something, even though we're not doing like theatrical work exactly, but I learned something about the sacredness of creating that container that we know isn't going to hurt anybody else. We're not just like going to unconsciously throw our emotions around, but we're going to create like this space where we can step into really interesting, dynamic, very different energetic expressions and embodied ways of being. And so that for me, I don't know, maybe even saved my life. Like it was
Yeah.
huge. It was huge and continued to be all through high school and college. And then that combined with finding this Zen Buddhist monastery,
Yes.
the mystery of why we're guided, where we're guided. But I then had to sit with myself for hours on end and just get to know this multifaceted landscape of me that I had been just, shoving aside, don't want to hear it, don't want to feel it. Now here it is. All the emotions, all, everything. And to learn, I came up with so many games to learn how to stay present. uh, yeah, so many games like, okay, on the count of three, I'm going to imagine that I'm an alien who's just landed in my body and experience myself anew. Everything's new. And just little things like that, to keep
Fun.
myself present. And so over time, these have developed into like, oh, other people might enjoy these little like tips and tricks of like how to stay
Yes.
present. Um, yeah, and then that kind of led me to training in parts work and just really continuing to hone the playground space of inviting
Mm.
someone to get to move their body, from one place to another and give give permission for
Yeah.
what's here, and also cultivate that witnessing space, cultivate that presence in us that isn't afraid of what's here and can hold it all. We are this massive mansion of being, and we have many rooms. We have many rooms. I feel like everything, all this weaving in of my life experiences is in service to this vast, like oceanic being that we are, that is ever shifting and changing, but that we can like navigate from the heart. Uh, and I hope to always be deepening and learning from that space.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could
First,
say
we have
more,
to
but yeah,
discover our heart.
yeah, yes, yes.
That's really beautiful. Moving on to Shay. Shay, we've had an interview before where we shared about your dreams and your offerings and just a few of your gifts to the world. We're also personal friends, and I see the way that you walk in the world, and it's always with so much intention. Can you please share how your intentional pauses inform your work with the teens, preteens, and vice versa? What have you learned from working with the teens and their families?
Mm. Intentional pause. I love this question so much because we are in such a hurried world. And what comes for me is I am really loving what can happen in the space where there is space, where there is a spaciousness. One on one, the work that I've done with Wise Mind Educational Services has taught me a lot about this one on one work with kids where we're creating spaciousness within the relationship where we're not filling that necessarily with like dialogue, where there's a trust in the emergence of whatever's coming, and that like the presence process is really, really important. And that within that, like there might be some awkwardness or there might be some like strange kind of experiences I have, like not filling the space with language or words necessarily, but like most people need more processing time than we allow. And most kids and teens need more presence and attuned adult, just like I kind of empty myself. It's like I sort of embody Kuan Yin in a way. I'm just like
Mm,
a very oceanic, like what Maggie's describing, the oceanic metaphor also makes sense to me here, where there's this like widening that happens in this space, and then there's more permission allowed. And so it feels like with this Chimera Club, we both, I think, intentionally embody that way of being also. And doesn't mean there's going to be lots of all these like awkward pauses, but that we we really value the pause. And when we pause, when we teach the girls and we teach ourselves how to pause, it just creates space. It's like that, that Viktor Frankl quote that I had shared, or yeah, Viktor Frankl, like the space between the stimulus and response is where freedom is. And that being like, what Maggie's talking about with this pillar of the mindfulness attunement, just being able to create that space within. But then I think there's also something about like the spaciousness of just the council process where we might sit together for a little while and we somewhat it may be a little bit quiet. And
mhm.
that is such a rich space because you move out of that place of thinking, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? And the pause allows it to become a heart space versus a mental space.
Mm.
And so what we're offering is it's just we want so much heart to be able to come through. And I think the
Thank
pauses
goodness.
allow for the heart. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we're such a mental and head driven society, right? The fact that you're
Hmm.
bringing the heart space and opening it up a lot more to the younger people is so necessary.
Hmm. It's true.
Y-
I'm just
Yeah, I
really,
mean,
I'm
go
just
ahead.
appreciating how Shay and I, we both found our way to land in the heart space at the end of what we just, that was such a
Oh,
beautiful
yeah.
symmetry. I could really feel
Whoa.
like,
I didn't even do that intentionally. That's
yeah, me
awesome.
neither. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sweet.
I mean, it's there. It's set in stone, right? It's all about the heart
Mhm.
space.
Well, then I think like families too, your question involved like what can families learn from that? And it feels to me that like teens, preteens, they just need a lot of space. That's why like this is happening. That's why they're like, back off me. I need space. And to as a mom, I can relate to like you nurture, you're there, they need you, and then the preteen teen happens and I imagine they need you in a really different way, and they need more of your witnessing, and they need more of your spacious holding for what they're moving through,
Right.
without attachment of what that might look like, um,
Right.
and
Because
who
by
they're
the time,
becoming. Let them try, let them fail,
Mhm.
let them move through those
yeah.
iterations of themselves. So I'm excited that Chimera Club also becomes a safe place outside of the family.
Yes.
Everybody needs safe places outside of the nuclear family to
Yes.
unfold in their becoming, because there's so much there. There's just automatically so much there with family. So not necessarily bad. It's always complex.
Right. Right. And it's the fact that when they are in the Chimera Club, with all that you guys are bringing, they learn to gather together with intention and the pause. And so that's something that they'll learn as they move through life.
That's right. And to learn like when a big emotion comes, like that pause is so helpful. And or like pausing and doing like we'll be doing some like self ceremony, I would call it, or like a ritual weaving where we get to teach them to just do like what are little ways that you could have a little like Maggie's talking about them as games. Like to me, that's almost like a ritual. Like what's a
Mhm.
way that I can like remember my presence and like tend to that, and that invites a pause, which is so cool.
Yeah, totally. And totally puts you in a different space when you can be by yourself and play a game that you've brought
Mhm.
to them, right?
Mhm.
Takes
Mhm.
them out of their head
Yep.
and just into a playful space. I think we
Yeah.
all need more play. And may these kids always remember this play and be able to bring it to their kids once they become moms.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Our goal too is that we do have some agendas. I would say our goal too is that yeah, that like connection to the inner child remains intact as long as possible. And it might
Yes.
go away for a while, and that's fine too, but to invite that.
Mhm.
Yes, definitely. I mean, the inner child, what is that? Right?
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so please share with us what are your dreams for this offering and for Wild Rivers Collective as a whole?
Yeah, I can start it off. Just as I've been hearing y'all talk, this is connected to this question. The phrase village aunties is just coming up again and again for me. Because yes, Shay and I have these like professional backgrounds and we're bringing all those skills. But really, like we're naming our primary role is like these auntie figures. And it has a real sweetness to it. It's like we want to support families.
Mhm.
I'm sure that we hear it all the time that parents are like, I would like more support, like more of a village presence in the raising of these young consciousnesses. And so really all the work that we're doing, it does fall kind of under that umbrella of like, here are some village aunties, we're showing up, we want to respond to the needs. What are the needs? You know? And and Wild Rivers Collective is a big umbrella. It's a big dream. It's a big umbrella. And so, we're not even exclusively saying that we're only going to work with the young feminine.
Right.
There's so much room for this to grow. Shay said recently, like, we are soul tenders. Like, that's the
Mhm.
heart of what we're doing. And so do we see the possibility of like a parent cohort that wants to form that also wants to have a playground for exploring the parts of them that come up in parenting? Heck yeah. It's sort of a natural
Yes.
unfolding from this. So I would say that we are listening and attuning because the feminine is emergent and shape-shifting. And this is one of the main ways that we're getting going. We have a few other offerings too, but we want to respond to the genuine need. And Shay, I'll pause here if you want to pop
Yeah,
in
so
there.
beautifully said.
Yeah.
Like such a great flowy conversation. I love you both. I want to talk a little bit about, well, yeah, I just second you what you shared about Maggie about the village anti vibe. We have these backgrounds that are professional, um, but I want us to be the women in the community that moms might call and be like, hey, my daughter just started bleeding. Like, can you support us? Or my daughter is going through her first breakup. Like, we
Mhm.
really need some support, or our family's going through divorce. Like, how can we support you? Maggie and I both see uh, teen clients one on one. I'm taking a pause with that right now, but Magnolia is continuing with that swing. So that's another extension of what we offer. um, so our other events besides Chimera Club are currently Storycraft, which is so fun because that involves the whole family. And it's a beautiful event where we meet for 3 hours and Maggie tells a story that's pretty quite interactive. She's an amazing storyteller. Um, and everyone gets to just come listen to a story and have tea and snacks. And we're reimagining village life when we do that. We're remembering what it's like to actually sit around a hearth together and become a part of this story that's alive in all of us, you know. At those circles, the mamas always have just as much to share as the daughters. And then within that, we do a craft space. So we're making things with our hands. That's also a piece that we'll be doing Chimera Club, is the like handiwork and deep nature connection too. I don't think we mentioned that fully, but that's going to be a big part of our offering. But the story craft is that 3 hour chunk, kind of going all over. And that's for the matriarchs of the family, the aunties, the babysitters, anyone falls in the feminine category that wants to come with the girl. So we'll have some of those dates coming soon. We don't have any dates set yet. And
Exciting,
yeah,
exciting.
it is. And then I offer, and Maggie too, to be a part of this. I've been offering it through Rooted Resilience, but it's happening here, which are the in-home threshold ceremonies, which is a specific
Mm.
2 or 3 hour ritual container for families to honor a daughter going through her first bleed. And it's really specific celebration for the family. And it's we do like an hour long kind of pre-interview where we get to talk about all the things and just make it really designed and tailored to what that family is desiring. um, Kind of just teaching the girls like how to celebrate that, teaching the families how to honor and celebrate that.
So good. I
And they
wish,
we like co-design the ritual, right? So like
right.
they're learning how to also become ritual holders because we all are. You
Yes.
know, we all are that. Um, and I will dare to share that like our other dare to share that our other vision is to actually be doing like more edge pushing threshold rites of passage rituals with
Mm.
girls on the land in the form of like outdoor
Perfect.
challenges, excursions, something like that, um,
Right.
in the next year. So that's also on
Perfect.
our radar as like an encompassing opportunity.
Yeah. That's wonderful. I wish that I had access to you guys when my daughter was getting her first bleed. I think, I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't read the red tent
Mhm,
until, maybe just last year, and she's already
mhm,
15. And when I read it, I was just like, oh my gosh, I wish that we had celebrated, the first bleed more and really kind of talked about how empowering it is,
mhm, mhm,
right? To have
mhm.
that to have that every month.
Yeah.
It makes us who we are. We bring children into the world. We're
Yes.
soul tenders, just like you
Yes.
said.
Yes.
And I really love how you guys consider yourself the village aunties, because that's where we're at right now, getting back to village. And it's really beautiful to have these preteens have access to a village that isn't part of their family and isn't part of their school.
That's
It
right.
could be maybe some, kids that are in the same school or whatever, but just to meet in a different way, that's held in a different way, and they can be seen in a different way, and they can try on the different hats that they
Mhm.
may have imagined.
Literally, we will have different hats.
So that's really beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
so this Chimera Club starts up October,
Mhm.
Yeah,
right?
first week of October, and yeah, we'll have a Portland cohort, and then we are in the process of opening up a Silverton cohort,
Mhm.
due to a
Wonderful.
really beautiful grant that we just received. Shay, I don't know if you want to mention
Yeah,
more.
yeah, we received
Yes.
a community impact donation from the Willamette Health Council, and they're really uplifting our work, which means that we'll be able to offer a highly discounted rate for OHP families.
Great.
So, um, so really, we are encouraging anyone with OHP to sign up and enroll their kids specifically, well, in either program, but in the Silverton program, that's where the funding is happening, and
Right.
we
And how
can.
wonderful for their mental health.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so cool that this organization sees that what we're doing is really it's mental health support, to put it
Mm-hmm.
in contemporary terms.
Medical
Yeah.
terms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we
That's
encourage, yeah,
exciting.
any families to reach out to us. Our email is wildriverscollective@gmail.com, which you can, I'm sure, post.
Yep.
And just to reach out if you have any questions about like but what are you actually doing? And what is
Mhm.
the structure? Or I have concerns about this or wonderings about this, you know. Um, we haven't even like mentioned like, you know, talking about bodies and
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
like you know, that's not our main focus, but those things are potentially going to come. And so if any parents have any questions about that, we also invite them to ask.
Mhm. And I do actually, I'm feeling called to just say one thing about that. That that because this is an exploration of becoming and shape shifting, we are really clearly not, even subtly, putting out some idea or image of what it means to be feminine.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of the exploration and the wondering around like gender expression and so much of what's happening in our world today in our culture, this is sort of a different way of creating a space of belonging that there's so much playfulness that it's almost like we can play with all kinds of identities, actually. Like,
Hmm.
let's play with identities and let's just like really be in touch with our bodies. Let's really
Hmm.
be in touch with this sensation that's occurring and let our expression come from that ground and not as much from like intellectual ideas.
Perfect.
That's just what we want. We want them to be in touch with their own intuition and innate truth.
Yeah,
Their soul consciousness.
Mm.
that's right.
Yeah.
Mm.
Beautiful, beautiful offering.
Mm. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
ladies.
Thanks for giving us the opportunity to talk about it. There's so much love here for
Yes.
this subject and this offering. And
I
yeah.
mean, so important and so necessary.
Mhm.
So when they meet weekly, it'll be at Jean's farm in Southeast Portland. And then the Sunday meetings will be in Corbett.
That is for the Portland cohort.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Right.
for the
Mhm.
Silverton cohort, folks will meet at Wild Roots Medicine on
Okay.
Wednesdays, which is
Okay.
beautiful. If you're downtown Silverton, your kid could just walk from school. So,
Ooh.
more info on our website soon on the Silverton cohort.
When does the Silverton cohort start up?
Same week, early October.
October as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so both. And then are you imagining that the once a month Sunday meetings, you would combine the two, Silverton and Portland, or no?
We
Silverton
haven't
will
we
just say
haven't thought about
Silverton.
that. I think we are going to keep it separate
It's kind of
Yeah.
far.
for the for the
Yeah.
continuity. The
Cool.
Silverton land immersion days, we're still pinning down the location on, so
Mhm.
more coming.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, ladies. Is there anything else you'd
Awesome.
like to add?
we I do have something. We just got back from offering
Uh,
a week long. It was like a toe dip into this work for us. Um, a week long program journey, we were calling it,
Mhm.
at girls' camp at a beautiful gathering called Temple of Belonging. And while we were there, we really made it known and expressed to the families that like we're just starting off and we are like with this work and that the any kind of community support, like if people watch this video and they're like, I don't have
mhm.
a daughter that age, but I really want to uplift this work and support this work, please get in touch with us because there's so many ways that we can be in reciprocity with each other. And we really do feel like there's two of us, you know. We
Mhm.
would love to for this to be um, just a communal uplifting. So if you feel like you have a space that like you could host something
Yes.
or you know you have some sort of skill to offer, like there was a mama that came and taught the girls how to knit, and there was another woman who taught the girls how to do breath work, which was amazing. um, just like plug in with us. We might not have a space for you yet, but like plug
Mhm.
in and we'll just really appreciate that uplifting. We also will take donations soon once our website is up.
Yes.
Great.
Yep.
Yes, we are a collective. We are a collective.
And so, I mean, if there's a mother that's listening to this that is enrolling her child in the cohort, would you recommend that that mother not be contributing whatever her gift is during the time that her daughter is there?
Hmm.
Interesting. Maybe we'll have to think about that.
Okay.
I don't think there's a clear response there. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think we can tune in. Yeah. Yeah.
Maggie, you were going to add something. I think you and Shay both sort of.
You know, it's so funny. I'll say it, but it's like, where is this coming from? Uh, dreams, dreams. It's like I want to make the invitation to any parents watching right now to ask your daughter about her dream life if you haven't.
Mm,
Just see if there's anything there, because that the chimera, if she's gonna emerge, she's probably gonna start emerging from the dream life.
that's right.
Especially if she doesn't have any other spaces to come through. So I do a lot of dream work with adults and adolescents, and I would just say, like, yeah, pay attention to the
Hmm.
dreams.
I
Ask them
love
questions.
that.
Ask them to retell you the dreams without assigning much meaning. Just
Yeah,
let them retell the dream if they want to.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then take notes and then call up Maggie immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah. No, first intentionally pause. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, you guys. This was really beautiful. And
Thank
I'm
you,
really looking
Belinda.
forward to the growth and expansion of Chimera Club and Wild Rivers Collective. And I
Thank you
have
so
yet to make
much.
it to storytelling, but story crafting, and I want to go.
We'll see you
So
there.
We'll
thank
see you
you.
there.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.